then it's just very strange to see Godsend even start off with a 1-by-1 play and just keep losing players over and over again. No one was nearby Sticko to trade, so they try to put a player back inside the apartments. Michael Lele thinks he can lay it lurk out, but they haven't really forced Copenhagen Flames to make any rotations, so they could just hold their default setup and 1-by-1 Godsend just fall.
And that was a buy round.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was a full buy round and just went down the drain. I mean, I get it. Like a couple of those kills were a little unfortunate. I think it was Crystal whose head was sticking out of the smoke. But apart from that, the rest of them, like you said, I mean, I get it. You want to go for a fact-finding mission. You want to maybe go for a little contact plays and whatnot. But if you're not going to pressure Flames, they have those two ops and sit all the way back and just like pick you apart 1-by-1. 3K for Nodios, and I don't think he even had to move his crosshairs at all. That's just rough for Godsend. But scores are tied. And that's pretty much been the story of this entire map. It has been just neck to neck. Very close indeed. Apart from the maybe near the end of the first half where Godsend had that 9-6 lead. Here we go though. Pistols. A little bit of armor, and that nade has just done so much of damage. It's for like 150 points of damage in total.
Not bad.
Almost 200.
Definitely getting your money's worth on the $300. And when they move forward, it's going to be Nodius in the back lines. Crystal gone. Nodius will find a kill and followed up by Refresh, but the deagle from Madden snapping the neck of Refresh, leaving him on the floor. Copenhagen Flames trying to work their way into the round win, and it's certainly looking good for them. But Madden is still going mental. Thought he nearly got that third one. Luckily, he doesn't, and doesn't freak me out. We can continue. It's only map 1. I didn't want to have a heart attack just yet.
Yeah, Madden just... He's just been nutty. Him and Sticko have been just nutty this entire game. And it's good to see Frolic is back to his usual form. He's still kind of like in the lower half of the scoring department, but he has definitely woken up on the CD side. And the remainder of his teammates also doing a lot of the heavy lifting here as Copenhagen Flames with the lead. They need just a couple more rounds to take this map, which is their map pick. For those of you tuning in, probably not aware who has picked what. And the next one is going to be Dust 2, which is a pick coming in from Godsend. Now the buy. Michael Lily with the AWP. Scoped in. And a right IP coming in from Nodius. That was actually very, very risky from Nodius pushing out that late. But it does work out in his favor. And sometimes fortune favors the brave.
Certainly in this round at least. Nodius is going to be holding on towards CT. The scope in. Comes up. Nodius will throw the flashbang and relocate back further inside the site. Godsend just taking their time inside a banana, one towards the top. Crystal behind him. The bomb. Back of Madden. Nico trying to make a little bit of a play in towards the A-bomb site. He's there with Zen. Working in a duo system here, Godsend. Trying to work across the map. Now, they could go for a B split if they manage to take this archway player down. And that certainly would be difficult to hold on to for the Copenhagen Flames.
Indeed, and Frolic pushes out.
My.
Oh,
okay.
That's it. That's a split done. And now they have to walk in straight. Just have the one Molotov and a flashbang, and Nodius scoped in and ready. He's got backup as well in the form of Refresh. It's going to be a map point, ladies and gentlemen.
That is nuts. Farlig really showing up in important rounds. And like you said earlier, his kill count may not be up there in the 25s of the likes of Nodius, but a lot of the kills he's been finding have been hugely impactful. Not only in the second half, but in the first as well. Managed a few rounds to even give them this situation. And well, there's the bomb gone. Farlig with another. Crystal hitting the deck. 15-13. Copenhagen Flames have fought their way back against Godsend. It was looking good for the European mixed side, but the Danes clawed their way in.
That was a genius push as well. The second they knew that the last two players were not going to be pushing in. And they heard a scope as well early on. They heard from, I do believe it was in the hands of Crystal, if I'm not mistaken, or Mike Lele, I forget. But there was a player with the op towards the B bomb site when the split was about to take place. So they knew at least one player was towards Banana. Once they pushed in, come in with like 10 seconds remaining, they started pushing down mid, they started pushing Banana, ensured that Godsend were able to save any weapon whatsoever. And with that, look at this buy. 4 MAC-10s and a Galil, and Frolic's going to open things up towards mid. He finds one. Aggression is the name of the game for Godsend. They need to make it work with the MAC-10s as they come pushing in real fast towards Archway.
Running forward, it's going to be Crystal and Firelake trying to get something done. Michael Whiteley running over the top. It's Queenix that gets rid of it. Zen coming back through, refresh with the kill on the M4, now a 2v2. As we look at Michael corpse on the floor, we'll try and way into it. It's going to be a nade coming up in from Nodius. It does only leave Sticko now into a 1v2. Godsent. They have crumbled here on Inferno, and Copenhagen Flames fight their way back, and they'll walk away with a 16-13 win, Blair.
I'm a little bamboozled. I won't lie. That was just weird.
Yeah.
Overall, lots of weird decision making coming out from Flames on the T side, and then honestly, I really felt like Godsent had this one in the back, but then they started playing kind of like Copenhagen Flames. In fact, the T side near the end of that game was worse than Flames, if you ask me. Like that one round with the full buy, and they got picked apart one by one by doing, I think, 30 points of damage in total. That's just weird, right? So, well, there you have it. It's still the map pick from Flames. I want to still see what Godsent do have in store for us on Dust 2.
Well, it is time for Dust 2. We're going to go to a short break, but when we return, we'll have map 2 ready for you. We'll see if Godsent can bounce back in Dust 2, or will Copenhagen Flames pull off the upset.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
To be brilliant is to defy convention and challenge expectations. So Intel will bring the processing power for when it's time to go brilliant. Frame rates that keep up with your reflexes. Brilliant. Fast clock speeds for when you're on the clock. Brilliant. It's what we do at Intel, powering you to master your potential. Will you rise? Intel. Unleash your brilliance.
Last year, we took 2 lucky winners on a trip to Berlin and gave them the experience of a lifetime. This year, we can take you for a trip to Rio. Take part in a series of GG.bet contests for a chance to win awesome prizes and a trip to Rio. See details on the website.
No, I can't remember the last time that I really felt fine. Now I'm trying to rewind, 'cause lately I've been feeling kinda hazy, like I'm stuck in a daydream, and you're not here to save me. Down and out, I hit the floor, all is fair and love and war, but I can't do this anymore, no, no. So take me to a place I know, somewhere I can feel my soul. Lately I'm skin and bone, so hollow. I never felt so alone. Need you more than you know. 'Cause baby, I feel like home. Reminiscing the late nights, we'd fall in love in the moonlight. promise fair and love and war, but I can't do this anymore. No, no. So take me to a place I know, somewhere where I can feel my soul. Lately I'm skin and bone, so hollow. I never felt so alone. Need you more than you know. 'Cause baby, you feel like home.
Utility to Ivy early, they will leave that position, so there's a chance this ends in B, but everyone's sitting outside of T-Com right now, so late smokes here for Fnatic, and again, Dig with a double B setup. That's been their mainstay, often leaving outside to 3, but you can get it done with 3. Ooh. Phew, Forest almost left, but he's back.
Volley of nades go into this A bomb site. Flashes to allow Fnatic this path out from main. Freiburg pressured from too many angles at once. And Brolin, he just deep dives in through the smoke. Catches Get Right and Forest unaware inside of the site. And now Halzer can exist on for what would have been a 2-on-5. Now turned 2v4. But the bomb ticking away already. And Dig know this is not going to be a round that they have much of a chance in. As well as that, you know, being over on the CT side, they might just consider the save, and that looks to be the decision, right? They hold on to the AWP, they keep an AK over on Exist, but Fnatic, they're going to go hunting. You know, they've got no reason not to in this instance. They've got money into the next round. They can afford to throw some bodies and try and take these guns away. Exist might be on a bit of a timer here as they're about to come out through the connector. Flusher gets dealt with, but Exist, oh, he does manage to escape. He just eludes the guys out from connector, so he is able to hold on to that rifle. Fnatic tying it up 16.
What a heroic play for Brolin as well, right? Like running through the bomb train smoke and flanking 2 CTs there, getting both of them off the site. That just wins a round for Fnatic single-handedly. And that's what Brolin can be so good at doing. 25 kills for him. Same story for Flusher. Oh dear, talking of which, he gets burnt out of the pop dog, but there are trades.
A little ambitious for Flusher, but don't worry, Brolin here is going to try to even up the score a little bit, and that's what we have at 3 versus 3. Well, he's on down to 70 HP. He's still firmly in control of this Olaf area.
Look at Exist again, by the way, aggressing in through the B halls, taking full advantage of the fact that Fnatic have not been playing this position. Exist, he could deal with one of the prongs of this split, and now JW is forced to try and take gunfights inside of the site. That's where Exist comes in to save the day. Crim's left up alone in a 1v3. A lot of work to do. Does have this bomb on his back and a flashbang to try and assist him at the very, very least. Dig, knowing that they've given up this upper control and not knowing where Crims resides, they've had to rotate Forest around to the B bomb site just as a bit of a precaution. And this is going to give Crims a little bit more room to work with, but emphasis on little bit, because Halzerk is holding all these long angles from Ivy. They'll put a 17th up for Dig. Now just 2 away. They only need 2 here in the second half of OT to take this first map. 19, of course, being the magic number that we're looking for.
And let's remember regulation now. Dig, 70 rounds initially, split right down the middle at the end of the first half. They had a pretty good showing, so there's definitely a world where they can get 2 out of 3 here. Fnatic have got to feel worried of that. JW, not been keen on the AWP this, or at least this T side, but going to be pulling into the CT side once again. It's been a long time coming. Could it be the solution? Org up for Brolin. He misses the Krieg. This one will have to do. Oh dear, get right. Not ready for someone to be pushed so close either. And there's going to be more where that came from. Dig want to barrel into this A-bomb site, but Molotovs have cut them off. The plan has been given away by Get Right's death, and now Fnatic are more than ready for this one. 4 on the outer site, still utility in the face of Dig. They're going to try and push round it rather, and Brolin is holding the Olaf side. Golden close to main. This is a slaughter, and Brolin on his 3rd. JW fires one through the smoke, and Forest, he is all that stands here for Dignitas.
Yeah. They were just 2 away. Now that's looking merely impossible. JW with the last kill of the round using his AWP. Brolin for 3, JW for 2 in that round, albeit good stuff from both of them, and for Fnatic to keep this one close. Again, 1st to 19.
Yeah, Brolin's been monstrous here in overtime, right? Really just stepping up time and time again for Fnatic. This round, of course, absolutely no exception. And now double AWP Golden going to be bringing one out alongside JW. He's got his over here towards the B site. He's going to try a fast Halls peek. Meanwhile, Brolin clears the pop dog, deals with the first man in, and continues to hold this position. Get Right does actually drop down into the smoke. Brolin's going to throw a nade in.
Surprise.
Ooh.
Ooh, this is an interesting one.
It's about to get sweaty, everybody. Hold your horses. Here we go.
Oh, Get Right.
And Get Right loses.
Yeah, not up to the task. Crim's even rotated in to help Brolin out there, so Get Right up against 2 guns emerging from that smoke. JW even spots Freiburg down in Ivy. So Fnatic have a great idea where these Dig players reside right now.
But the double peek. Oh, he was not ready for that. He was done for either way. And it's Freiburg with the AK headshot on to JW. Drops that AWP there. That's going to be a bit of a vulnerability.
Yeah, JW has often been caught in this game, going down Ivy, you know, expecting one player there on a lurk and getting, you know, given double peeks or trades. You know, he plays off of audio of grenades, and then turns out there's Freiburg there waiting. More often than not, Dig have had a lot of control towards Ivy, but in this round it's just left to one man, because that's all they've got. Freiburg on the corner. He's got a kill already in this round. They should know it, and they do. Flusher will deal with the problem at hand, and Fnatic will get 18 first. Map point here for the pick of Dignitas. It could slip through their fingers after all.
Yeah, and with a team full of veterans, normally we would say something like, oh man, you know, they're going to run out of gas. They've lost an OT here in the first map of the series. But I don't necessarily see that being the case for a team like Dignitas, where it's not just that they have the veterancy and the experience and the time spent in the server. They're also playing against some former foes in Fnatic. So they're going to have to turn it around, turn it back up if they can't win it right here.
Former teammates as well.
I think as well, right, this is where Dig are in like a pretty unique position, right? Because you look at other teams where they have like these like veteran hard-hitting players. I think that like FaZe is a good example of teams where you have like legends from many different eras, and expectations for that team are very, very high as a result, right? Whereas for this Dig squad, it is like, you know, you've got the band back together. You were never expecting them to be world beaters out the gates. It's all about what they can build. And so I think for Dig, they can look at the positives of this regardless. But
you're saying it's over?
Well,
no, I'm not saying over.
You know, and let's just go a little bit further with that, right? You're talking about the band getting back together. Well, they've got their first album out now. And of course, it's still settling in with the, you know, the people reviewing it. You know, we really haven't seen enough of Dignitas, I think, to either buy into the program or berate the album. We don't know just yet. Either way, Get Right finding a kill onto JW, and we're back into it.
Hey, I mean, if Dig drop this round and lose this map, they might just be going back to selling their mixtape in the street, Trace.
Hey, man, you got to start somewhere. You guys are my street team, so I don't know what the big problem is. How many album sales are we up to?
Sales?
10 million.
Yeah.
Sales, but we giving away all the CDs I burned.
Yeah. Donations, I think, is the word we should use.
Nice, yeah.
Donations to the bin.
Okay, rude.
No, I'm kidding, Trace. You know, your second album, way better than your first.
Yeah. And if you liked my first, you want me to do more of my old stuff, go buy it.
Sure.
Because I'm kidding, dude. I don't have any mixtapes. You guys are crazy. Brolin peeking out here into T-Con, finds a kill into Exist, and this could be the very beginning of the end for Dignitas. Little less is a minute, and they are still locked out of both sites. They don't have any control in Ivy. They don't have any control inside. The Brown Halls are just now being explored by them.
Beginning, the end. Also, the end of the beginning. This is the first of a potential 3-map series, but with Overpass coming up, a map that has been very, very favorable to Fnatic. They are looking to 2-0.
Yep, and over on the other stream, as we are in overtime, so is Int and Nip. It's almost as if they're all on the same wavelength, same map, different teams.
Yeah, let's see if we can run it back again, right? Dig 3-on-4. They need to outdo Fnatic in a very big way in this round here and now. They do get that trade onto Flusher. Freiburg trying to turn the heat up, and he brings the fight to Crims in a way that he was not ready for. Freiburg continuing with this aggression. Golden and Brolin team up for that kill. They just about get it. Freiburg has to deliver a stellar clutch here. He knows where both players are, but Golden swinging out, secures the round and secures the victory here on Train for Fnatic. 19-17, they get it done in overtime. They go 1-0 up in this series, taking Dig's map pick away. And with Overpass loaded in the chamber, ready to come up next, Fnatic are looking to make this one a 2-0. Can Dig bounce back, or will it be the Fnatic story? Join us after a quick break to find out.
Is this thing on? Can the audience hear me?
Never let you double cross them. Moving through the city like it's Gotham. They told me get one, so I got one. Stop saying you're a boss when you not one. You ain't sacrificed, nah, you ain't lost none. All over the gram like you got a bag. You ain't big dog, we ain't hear none of that. I'm in the gym looking like a running back. How you know the flow, got him coming back. Who I was in the past, I'm unattached. Only focus in this moment is bringing the summer back. Oh, respect my grind, elevate souls and I spread good vibes. Young divine, you know I gotta shine. Raise your hands for a good time. Vibe
until the morning, sleep until the noon. You said that you want it, so I got it for you. Let's all get together and show them how we move. We move, we move, bringing summer to you.
Ready, let's go. 'Cause you know how we roll. Let's take it round the world and back again. Ready, let's go. 'Cause you know like I know, we'll take it round and round. Yo, hold up, let me switch my flow up. Back in high school, they were telling me I'll blow up. Doing talent shows and man, everyone will show up. Got in an accident and still made it for them to go nuts. You know what? I'm so what? I'm so That means I can't describe the way I vibe, the way I slide in with the rhymes that make the dimes all close their eyes and fantasize. I'm divine calling their phone number. Yeah, no, you know I love it. And you know me, I can't sleep without blazing beats. On stages for that one's gracefully. And I got a smile that they hate to see. Young, black, successful, though life gets stressful. Though life gets stressful, go and vibe out with whoever you next to.
Vibe until the morning, sleep until the noon. You said that you want it, so I got it for you. Let's all get together and show them how we move. We move, we move, bringing summer to you.
Ready, let's go. 'Cause you know how we roll. Let's take it round the world and back again. Ready, let's go. 'Cause you know like I know, we'll take it round and round.
Dignitas and Fnatic, a battle between former friends and even some co-workers here. If you take a look at it, Fnatic do pick it up in overtime, 19-17. We did go the full distance, and as the Glock rings out, that also lets us know that it's almost time for that next map of Overpass. We can begin to discuss what happened on Train, though, and when I say we, I'm talking about Harry, Hugo, and myself. We're going to talk a little bit about what Dignitas showed us right now, because it was a little bit of face.
Yeah, I mean, Dignitas were looking really good in the server. I think that's fair to say, right? Like, especially the old guard, which was like refreshing to see, you know, everyone there stepping up in spades. Forest and Get Right delivering some stellar moments. Freiburg as well, I think, was instrumental in that game, even reaching overtime in the first place, right? He gets back-to-back 3K rounds. Forest, though, is such a good talking point, such a good place to kind of start this discussion, because he was the man who back in NIP, even towards the end of him and Get Right's tenure in that squad, it felt like he was always consistent, you know, he was always stepping up in the server. And so seeing him carry that forward into Dig and seeming like, you know, the rest of the squad are kind of energized around it is a real good look. And DIGNITAS, I feel like they kind of blindsided Fnatic with just how well they were able to take to this map and bring the heat here in this matchup.
And the thing about Force is it's not only he's a gamer, but there's definitely, and you could reference back to just the old time when this lineup was together, there's chemistry here that's going to happen naturally no matter what. So Force slots right into here. It's just as if it's home for these guys.
Yeah, and it's certainly nice having Halzuk in the mix as well, right? Bit of a rough one for him with the AWP, but more often than not, he's holding the line for Dig, and he's looking really good while doing so. Train, great map for him in the past, but right now, Fnatic just, again, proving why we have them at this #1 spot.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Fnatic side, and let's kind of really hone in on some players here for the side. I personally want to talk a little bit about Krems, what he was able to bring to the table in this best of 3 so far.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Krims is looking great just throughout. Like, he's another one of these guys who just became like a staple within Fnatic thanks to his consistency, right? And even when this Fnatic squad was going through the trials and tribulations of splitting between the Godset mix, you know, it was looking at Krims as being that kind of staple figure within the team. And now that he's back and he's got the rest of the guys around him, he's continuing that, putting up great numbers. I think another guy who was instrumental here for Fnatic was Brolin. You know, he had such a good game, especially in a similar vein to Freiburg, as we ended up in those overtimes, as the games went the distance, the man that we were looking towards was Brolin to turn a lot of those fights around.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting talking points about Brolin was when the Kree got nerfed recently coming into the end of Pro League and the start of Road to Rio, we're wondering, like, okay, is this going to affect Brolin? Is he going to drop off? Is he going to be struggling? Well, no. 35 kills, 25 deaths, top of the entire server, looking really, really good. And it was so pivotal for Fnatic on those eco rounds. He was just getting D kills left, right, good night.
Left, right, good night. But we're not ready to go to bed yet. In fact, we got another map on the docket between that of Fnatic and DIGNITAS. A little bit of overpass is on the cards. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we will return with the second map of the series, and we will hope that you are joining us there.
Love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
To be brilliant is to defy convention and challenge expectations. So Intel will bring the processing power for when it's time to go. Brilliant. Frame rates that keep up with your reflexes. Brilliant. Fast clock speeds for when you're on the clock. Brilliant. It's what we do at Intel, powering you to master your potential. Will you rise? Intel. Unleash your brilliance.
Last year, we took 2 lucky winners on a trip to Berlin and gave them the experience of a lifetime. This year, we can take you for a trip to Rio. Take part in a series of GG.bet contests for a chance to win awesome prizes and a trip to Rio. See details on the website.